this video we are going to talk about repotting orchids, and I'm going to show to you which is the correct time to repot an orchid and things you should consider when you do that, because we all want to achieve a repotting without stressing the orchid. And we know that a lot of orchids kill the old roots after you repot it, because the old roots cannot adapt to the new medium you are putting the orchid in. So I'm going to show to you here a few examples. I'm actually repotting these orchids. This is my Cattleya album. So what we can see here, let me focus, it is that my new orchid has a new growth right here, and she also has some very big new roots that are starting to grow. So this is the moment when you want to take the orchid from the old medium and repot it into your new orchid setup. I'm repotting all my orchids in semi-hydro, we all know that. And you can see on this orchid that this is also a good time to repot it. The new pseudobulb that has just bloomed has new roots starting to grow and a new growth. So what this means, it is that these roots will take off immediately the new pot, and these roots will adapt to that new environment. What orchids do very often, it is to kill the old roots from the old pseudobulbs. So if we take a look at this orchid, we can see that the roots from these 4 pseudobulbs that are here in the back are actually dead. So it is correct to assume right now that most probably the roots from this pseudobulb will also die, because I'm repotting this orchid. I have just taken it out from the old medium because these roots were getting quite large, and this is the moment when I want to pot this orchid in semi-hydro. I will use this plastic cup. I have here some 2 holes, and this will be the reservoir of my pot. So because these new roots have a good size, they are about 4 centimeters in length, they can already start to absorb a little bit of moisture, and even if the old roots will die, she won't be stressed, because the new roots will be soon able to support the new orchid. If you have roots this size when you repot a new orchid, what will happen, it is that in about 2 months after you repot, the new roots will be already quite big, let's say about 10 centimeters in length, and they can already sustain the mass of the orchid and the new growth, so you won't stress it. Now let's talk about the reason why all the roots die. So we can imagine that this orchid was in some old medium, and she grew in that medium, she adapted the roots in that medium. And what is happening now, it is that I'm changing the environment in which these roots have grown, and they won't be able to function to the capacity they were functioning in the new environment. Now I won't be cutting these roots, because they can still function for at least 1 to 2 months, and because I'm planting the orchid in inorganic medium, the medium won't break down. So even though it is possible for these roots to die, they will decompose, but I'm watering the orchid at least every week. I never let the reservoir stay with water inside for more than 1 week, because the orchids are also producing their own bacteria, their own microclimate inside, and it is forming some bacteria, because let's imagine that the orchids also poop inside, because when the roots grow they make this little velamin, sometimes a little powder forms on it, and there are all sorts of other things that decompose inside that medium, like when the orchid is breaking down in different components the fertilizer. Anyway, there are a lot of things that aren't used in that water, so this is why I am renewing the water from the reservoir each week. Otherwise there will form some microbioloads, which will make the medium be too acidic. With that being said, let's show you another example. which is this new orchid that I recently purchased. This is that beautiful Catlanoidea. And if we look at this orchid, we can see that this growth has grown some good roots, but she also has some empty places where she can start to grow new ones. But if we look at this new growth, she still didn't produce the root system. So she will soon start to produce new roots. This is also a good moment to repot an orchid. And this is not only valid for Cattleya orchids. If we think like this, even Oncidium orchids do that. Phalaenopsis don't really do that. They have a bigger capacity to adapt to new environments, but Oncidiums, Cattleyas, Epidendrums, all sorts of other orchids do this. And also, all the roots from these pseudobulbs are completely dead, so I removed them. I won't really cut these strings because they are woody and they cannot really decompose inside the medium, so usually I'm just taking the velamen off from the old root. And yeah, we can presume that this new growth will soon start to produce some new roots. And if we take a look at this growth, she's also starting to swell this eye here, so she will start to grow a new growth here too. So she is in active growth, and this is a good time to repot her. If we think at Phalaenopsis, the best time to repot a Phalaenopsis it is when she is in active growth, meaning when she is growing new leaves from the stem. This is because we want the orchid to be in active growth, because this is the time when the orchid is taking many nutrients from the fertilizer you use, and there are less chances for the orchid to kill off roots when she is in active growth. And anyway, she is growing then new roots, which is good. I will repot this other Cattleya. This is my Cattleya violacea hybrid, so I will repot this one too very soon. I am only waiting for my order to arrive, because I ordered some more containers like this for semi-hydro and some more medium because it's over. Now I will show to you how I repot this beautiful Cattleya hybrid. It is the white one, the one that me and Dani are calling Princess Jackie. We will first put some medium inside. I will try to gently position my orchid into the pot, like so. Now I will place a little bit more medium. When you have about 3/4 of the pot filled with medium, you want to add a little bit of slow release fertilizer, and don't forget that you always have in the description of all my videos links for the products that I use. I think it is best to use slow release fertilizer that is lasting for about at least 9 months. Mine, it is actually lasting for about 1 year, and when you use this you don't want to put too much in the pot, so you are supposed to put about 1 gram in each 12 centimeter pot. Mine, it is not a 12 centimeter pot, so I will put just a little bit. I'm not weighting it, but I think this will be enough for this orchid. The pot is quite small. I will try to push the orchid to the side of the pot because I want to leave as much space for new growth as possible. And I will add the rest of the medium. Let's lift a little bit the orchid up because we don't want to bury the base of the new growth. Placing the tag, I will go and I will water. When you water orchids that are in semi-hydro, what you want to do, it is to actually go and put the same amount of water as the container you have. So if this is a 400 milliliters cup, I will pour inside 400 milliliters of water. So the cup will be filled with water, and after that the water will drain from these two holes. You are supposed to leave a reservoir of about 2 to 3 centimeters. Mine, it is a little bit taller, but that is that. I won't change it now. I don't think it will do much harm to the orchid, and this is pretty much all. So I do recommend you try to contain yourself and you don't repot orchids at the wrong time, because by doing this you are stressing the orchid, and what you will get, it is a stressed orchid that won't bloom for 1 to 2 years until she will take off the new pot. So I can guarantee that next year I will have blooms again from this orchid, because I chose the correct time to repot it and she won't be stressed. So alright guys, this is all for today. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if this is the first time you are watching a video on my channel, make sure to subscribe to it so you can stay up to date with all my orchid videos. Thank you for watching and see you all next time. Bye!